What is up to everybody in here, whether you are a taco, whether you're not black anymore because you didn't vote for Joe Biden, or even if you're just like a white patriarchal colonizer, you're welcome here in this chat. No matter what you are. Welcome. Welcome to the Hump Day stream. How are y'all doing? How we doing on this gloriously, oh my god, so hot Wednesday? And when I say oh my god, so hot, I don't mean like attractive, although I will say this, and I stated this in the chat. If you watch the Red State live stream, you automatically become 10 times more attractive. That's just science. And not the science either. I mean, it's straight up. You can do the research. I have. Or at least I find you all 10 times more attractive. I got some bad news. I got some bad news, guys. I'm sorry to report this. I know a lot of you are going to be very disappointed by this. But as it turns out, Hasbro couldn't raise the money for the Force FX Elite lightsaber that was wielded by Reva from Obi-Wan. I know. Y'all are all so upset about it. It turns out that whenever you make a character that is very unpopular and then you use that character to accuse the fandom of being racist, that it doesn't generate enough hype for fundraising so that you can create more merch off of it. I know, y'all are so upset. You know, breaks the heart. Breaks the heart. Fools. Fools, all of them. How are y'all doing? I'm glad to see y'all. I'm glad that y'all are here. We've got a lot to talk about today. A whole lot to talk about today. Mostly fun stuff because I can't believe it. The Democrats are just, they're pretty much slated to fail here in November, in this upcoming November, which is right around the corner. It is not that far away. It is not that far away. And as the clock ticks down, you're going to see Democrats start to get more and more desperate. They might, from what I understand, have a little October surprise for us. Can anyone guess what that October surprise is going to be? I can already tell you. And you can probably already guess yourself. You can probably already guess yourself. Democrats prepare a midterm October surprise to influence the election. Here's the thing about Democrats. The one thing that they are continuing to do is they are trying to rely. This is the pattern. They rely on fear. They rely on outrage. They rely on emotion to get you to vote for them. As it turns out, their October surprise is no different. It is an old new play from the same failed playbook. That's what they're relying on. This is from Bonchi over at redstate.com. Go to redstate.com. Pretty much everything I'm going to talk about today is on that website. Also, please sign up for the VIP program. Use promo code Morse, MRSE. It really helps us out. And it gives you a discount if you use my last name. Also, like the stream. Smash that like button. If you don't mind, it really helps us with the algorithm. Democrats prepare a midterm October surprise to influence the election. This is from Bonchi. You probably already guessed what this is going to be. It's not that hard to figure out. Democrats are facing their worst political environment in over a decade heading into November's midterm election. They have nothing going into this midterm election. Absolutely nothing. They have tried over and over and over and over again to get you into a headspace where you are pissed off at Republicans or you're very super scared about something and then they can promise you to save you from it. That's kind of been their MO this entire time. Right? No matter where you go with it. It's been their MO. Use emotion to generate some sort of voter base. That's been the play. The new play is an old play. Biden HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra says that there's a strong chance that we will see a resurgence of the virus later this year. Biden campaigned on a promise to shut down the virus, but it was all a lie.
What I will tell you is that come the fall and winter, most everyone who's an expert on pandemics and these viruses will tell you that strong chance that we'll see a resurgence of the virus, whether it's the variants that we have now or new variants, and we got to be ready. What I will...
Okay. We're pretty much done. Let me tell you guys something. I recently had to take my wife to a hospital to get checked out. And while we were there, they had like a little conversation with some of the nurses and the doctors there. We were talking to them, and COVID kind of came up. You know, we were still required to wear masks inside the hospital and stuff, and we were kind of commenting on it. And they pretty much confessed to us at this point that it's a joke now. COVID's a joke. Like, there's no real need to fear it anymore. At this point in time, COVID, whatever variant it is, I don't know. I've lost track. I've stopped keeping track because I don't care anymore. Hardly anyone cares anymore. But whatever variant we're on now, it gives you about as much of a sore throat. You might have had it recently and you might not have even known it. You might have written it off as allergies. I probably had it recently and wrote it off as allergies. I did have a sore throat not too long ago. It was making me squeak like I was a 14-year-old going through puberty. I probably had COVID. I don't know. I don't care. Most people don't care anymore. Moreover, they do not want to go through another economic shutdown of our country over a virus that does not have a strong enough fatality rate. Okay, they do not want to uproot their entire lives and destroy an already destroyed economy even further for a virus that is more or less inconsequential. But we've seen this before. Biden has also said in the past that there is going to be another pandemic. It wasn't that long ago. It was just a few months ago, actually. Probably not even a few months ago. Maybe it was 2 months ago. Biden said that there would be another pandemic coming down the line. I think that is their October surprise. They're going to try to break out, and I think Bonchi is correct. They're going to try to break out more fear. Here's the issue. They have tried their absolute damnedest to get you mad. They did it with the Roe v. Wade, the death of Roe v. Wade. They tried to get you really, really mad about it. They tried to get you scared and angry after the Uvalde shooting. Okay, Republicans are just, they're gun love. They don't care about kids. They only care about their guns. Remember that? So you got the abortion, and then you've got the war in Ukraine. You've got Putin's price hike. They're trying to get you into an emotional state. It is, but nothing is taken. Nothing is taken. They continue to try to push emotion on you, and it really is hard to go that route. Whenever you go to the pump and you are paying god-awful gas prices, whenever you go to the store and you notice that things that you paid way less for are now way more. All right? Whenever you try to go and find various items and you can't get them anymore because of the cost issues that are being suffered, supply chain issues that are being suffered by us here in our own homes, living rooms, grocery stores, communities. It's really hard to fall into these traps that they try to set for the American people whenever it's very clear that the biggest issue of all, the economic issue that is affecting our everyday lives, is being caused by the very people trying to scare you into voting for them or make you angry enough to vote for them. It's over. It is over for the Democrats. They're going to try to get you with this, and it's not going to work. The vast majority of America will not bite. And they're going to, don't get me wrong, they're going to put everything they get, and some people will cave to it. They're going to get scared again. I can see it in my Twitter feed sometimes. They still, even Republicans, certain Republicans, they just get to this mindset where, oh my God, we're all going to die. No, it's like, dude, shut up. There's a reason that over 1 million people over the past year have swapped from Democrat to Republican. There's a reason that thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people have been moving out of blue states to go to red states. It's because they're sick of Democrat nonsense. Their October surprise is going to be one of the dumbest things I have ever seen a Democrat Party try to do. But here's the thing. The Democrat Party has been nothing but dumb since Joe Biden got elected. Yes, of course, before that too. But I mean, I'm talking about they turned it up to 11. Really turned it up to 11. Lockdowns. Yeah, they're PJ Prepper. They that's their October surprise. More lockdowns. Congratulations. .56 and cloudy in the great state of Arkansas, Alaska. Why? They both start with A. I just keep aging, waiting for wifey to trade me in for a newer model. Oh, wait, I'm out of production. You're like a classic car, man, you know? I hate Inquisitor lightsabers. They're so stupid. My life is meaningless now. I agree. Those are stupid-looking lightsabers. I am pissed off at Republicans. They are Thelma and Louising us off the same fiscal cliff as the Democrats. They're just doing it a tiny bit more slowly, but I'm far more pissed off at the Dems. So, Republicans, you bring up a really good point, Animal. Republicans, if they're worth anything, when they get voted in, the first thing that they're going to do is start slashing and cutting and ripping and tearing all these costs and expenditures. I'm talking no more billion-dollar paychecks to Ukraine. Okay, we're going to close off the border. We're going to stop this nonsense when it comes to the oil industry. You know, we're going to lift a lot of the red tape. If they're worth a lick, they will start to do that to really increase the income and the savings of the United States. And on top of that, there has got to become a point where Republicans unite. And I mean unite hard. Over cutting entitlements. Entitlements have got to go. Government spending has to decrease. It absolutely has to decrease. And we shell out so much in entitlements. People are scared to approach things like Social Security, but Social Security is not going to last. I mean, it's already broke. Why do we still have it? Get rid of it. My kids, I'm probably not going to see anything out of it. My kids definitely aren't. My grandkids, forget about it. By the time my grandkids are born, I want Social Security to be like a myth. Some dumb thing that we did back in the day that we did in our ignorance. It's the Nazi variant. I'm really thinking of finding out more about Alaska Independence Party. Anagram of the day. Pandemic, Dem panic. Oh, Kaylin. That's good. Never had to fill out a credit application for a tank of gas before. Thanks, Joe. It's sad, man. It's sad. I used to fly to work. I can't justify AV fuel anymore, so 2-hour drive once a week, it sucks. I'm going to start going every other week. I mean, thank God we live in a time where you can work from home. Can you imagine a society where we still, like the vast majority of us, I don't know how, actually, I'm confused as to how many people do work from home. I don't know that answer yet. I'm going to have to look that up. How many Americans work from home? Statistics will surprise you. Here in 2022, 1 in 4 Americans, over 26% of American workforce, will be working remotely through 2021. They also estimate that 22% of the workforce, 36.2 million Americans, will work remotely by 2025. So the vast majority of Americans still have to go to the office. But that's going to start decreasing more and more. I think one of the things that really did happen, that really did affect us culturally and societally, is that many of us learned that in order to do our jobs, we don't necessarily have to go to the office. But I think that's also had a little bit of a backfire. I think that for some reason, I think stress increased for a lot of people because they worked from home. Because, like, in your mind, you know, you are going to work, and work is where you work, right? Home is where you go to get away from work, to relax, to eat dinner, to hang out with your family and stuff like that. Now these two locations have merged. Now work and home are the same. So I think that had increased stress in many Americans. One can only hope that they've made the final errors that will turn the public back to common sense. The ripping and the tearing. That is going to be a temporary thing. The pendulum is definitely going to swing back at some point in time. But, I mean, I think it is important. It's definitely important. Two things. One, that we make people remember this for a very long time. Right? That the Democrats really screwed it up because this is what they believe. This is how they treat an economy. It's very important. On top of that, Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, anyone who is right of center, who has the ability to do so, needs to make it clear going forward in the future that Democrats do not remake history, which is what they love to do. They love to rewrite history, okay, and make it so that they, you know, don't put this blame on somebody else, which they're already trying to do it right now. You know, they call this Putin's price hike. They try to blame the oil companies. They try to blame shipping conglomerates. Make sure that they cannot, in the future, after everyone has forgotten, rewrite history to make it seem like this era of Democrat waste, of Democrat spending, of Democrat incompetence is the fault of anyone else but Democrats. We have to hold them accountable for decades to come. Because the truth about the voting public is they have a very short memory. Incredibly short memory. Even if they know that the Democrat Party was responsible for this in good times, all it really takes is a charming person with the same policies. All they have to be is charming to convince people to go back to this way of thinking. So it's going to take a lot of work to make sure that this doesn't happen again. The problem with common sense is that it isn't. Yeah. Anymore? No. But it can be brought back with significant effort. I work from home. Me too! I do most of my work from home. Yeah. I imagine a lot of people who probably watch the show at this time are also work from home, just like me. You know? Or you're watching from the office, which God bless you if you are. For the past year and a half, my work has been 100% remote, but I'm fortunate in that my business allows me to be effective doing that. Same, bro. But I also take care of the boys, so I guess I'm really work from home. With my job, I have to go into work. It's not something that can be done at home. See, yeah, some people, you just absolutely have to. I don't think that that's going to ever really truly disappear. There will never be a time where it is 100% work from home. Good news, I grew up on a farm and know how to raise my own crops. If the economy keeps tanking, bad news, I hate doing it and would rather die. There are times when I wonder if being a farmer would, I just shut it all off and become a farmer wouldn't be the worst thing that ever happened to me. Gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Yep. We have a black bear hanging around the neighborhood. If I get a clear shot at him, he's going in the freezer. Season on them is year-round. Annual limit 3. Are they that populous? Populous? Is that... Why did I say that? Are they that do they populate? Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Do they populate the area that much? Are they like hogs here in Texas? Because we have a year-round hunting season for hogs. We get in helicopters with AR-15s and blow them like we just shoot them from the sky. We can always find enough to eat. Yeah. The Democrats are nowhere near charismatic enough to turn people around. Right now they aren't. Right now they aren't. They have no one that has the if you put Obama near the top of like charismatic people, they have no one who is near Obama levels at the moment. Right. If you look back over the course of history, Democrats have had a few people that really stuck out. Kennedy was, very charismatic. Bill Clinton, very charismatic. They fool people into agreeing with them. I remember one guy, he was like kind of talking about, or was it a woman? I can't remember. It was probably a woman actually, talking about how you would be talking to Bill Clinton and he would make you feel like you're the only person in the room. He was that charming. Black bears up here like coyotes in the 48. Ooh, bear butt sandwiches are a great afternoon snack. So I've never had bear, but y'all are making me curious. Y'all are making me curious now. June inflation numbers smash expectations, drawing obscenities and proclamations of doom. This one is also from Bonchi, who is killing it. The latest consumer price inflation numbers are out, smashing expert expectations to clock in with a top-line increase of 9.1% year over year. That represented a large increase over May's 8.6%, once again rebuking the White House's assertion that inflation is set to plateau and recede. Energy products led the way, while big price hikes in food products and travel costs also added to the chaos. Milk is up 16% compared to this time last year, while eggs, a product that nearly everyone buys, rose by 33%. I went to Cane's just the other day. It's like $2 more expensive for my tendies. Makes you mad. We got inflation hits another new 40-year high under Biden. Overall CPI plus 9.1 since last year. Gas is plus 59.9%. Fuel oil is 98.5. Meat, poultry, and fish 10.4%. Milk 16.4. Eggs 33. Coffee 15.8%. New cars 11.4%. Airline fares 34.1%. Good God. Real average hourly earnings negative 3.6%. Joe Biden likes to brag, or his administration likes to brag, that, more people are getting pay raises, but what does it matter? If the dollar is worth less, you're actually not even making more money, you're just getting more paper. That's pretty much all it is. They like to play with words and they're going to look back. Democrats are going to refer back to this time as well. Democrats, back then we secured pay raises for many Americans. No. Almost matters not at all that you did that. In fact, despite pay raises, people are still paying more. The sky-high inflation numbers also means lower wages. Lower real wages. While the Biden administration has tried to brag about wage growth under its watch, the reality is that people are poorer today than when the current president took office because inflation is destroying their buying power. From Catherine Rampell, real average hourly earnings decreased by 3.6%, seasonally adjusted from June 2021 to June 2022. Change in real average hourly earnings combined with a decrease of 0.9% in the average work rate resulted in a 4.4% decrease in real average weekly earnings year over year. Sorry about your raise. I don't see how they have these numbers going into midterms, and then they tell people, hey, we need to lock down again. And then people go, oh yeah, well, that's really great that they're saving us. The Democrats are saving us from I mean, don't get me wrong, there are going to be some blue checks on Twitter. The Democrats are saving us from a pandemic that's going to kill everybody. If that's their October surprise, which I think it is, I think they've been planning this for some time, then they're doomed. They're doomed. They're done. Democrats are done. What a free... And here's the other thing. Like, what do they... Traditionally, if you are a party in power and you are this incompetent when it comes to the economy, you're out. Traditionally. Okay? Democrats tried to use this very thing. You'll recall when Trump was president, Democrats oftentimes especially around election times, would try to talk economy. They would say stuff like, because of Trump, our society, our economy is crashing. It was primarily the coronavirus and the lockdowns, which in retrospect was really stupid, but, we didn't know back then. I can remember there were people who were wishing for a recession because when Trump's economy, this is before the pandemic, when Trump's economy was on the rise and it was really surging forward, you had Democrats talking constantly about how, a recession was on the way. Trump inflated the economy too high, so a recession is on the way. You had Bill Maher at the time who was like, I hope we get into a recession because I know for a fact that it'll, get Trump in trouble and it'll hurt Republicans and stuff. So they know how to manipulate the press into believing that an economy is far worse than it actually is. But right now, it really is actually bad. And this all is the fault. There are so many different reasons why, don't get me wrong, but most of them revolve around this guy right here. And they are trying to cover it up. They're trying to make it seem better than it actually is. And it's just not working. Kamala Harris recently was out in front of cameras talking about how, gas prices have been going down for the last 30 days. By how much? It doesn't matter. If you take a nickel off the gas prices, it is not you don't brag about that. When the gas prices are over $5 a gallon. Biden wonders where president is. Loses it on reporter who says Dems don't want him to run. This man, outside of being an economic disaster, is a disaster in and of himself. And he is consistently making the Democrat Party look bad.
Well, folks, you don't have to stand every time I hear Hail to the Chief, wonder where the hell is he? Took me a long while. You think I'm joking? I'm not. Turn around and where's the president?
What? What, bro? Does he forget? I don't understand what his joke was there. Was he looking for Obama? Was he looking for Kamala Harris? Didn't he call Kamala Harris at one point in time President Harris? Which, by the way, at the time, I'm pretty sure was a mistake. He did at one point in time call her President Harris. Here's the link. He did.
I've never seen anything like the unrelenting assault on the right to vote. Never. I don't think any of you have on this stage ever seen it.
Oop, wrong video.
But all kidding aside, of course, President Harris is a proud Howard alum.
I think at the time, this was back in 2020, I think that they had constant conversations with Joe Biden about a plan to put Kamala Harris up as his, after he has to retire, they were going to make Harris President Harris. Because again, why would you pass up the opportunity to be the party that put in the first woman of color as president, right? They wouldn't want to pass that up. And I think that was their plan. And Joe Biden every now and again would just slip. the guy would slip and be like, President Harris. And remember at the very beginning of this, they wanted to call it the Biden-Harris administration, not the Biden administration. That was the marching orders that they gave to the press. I think at the time they had that plan, but now Kamala Harris is so wildly unpopular that they've more or less abandoned that.
We used to have debates with me and, for example, Jim Eastland, with whom I agreed on virtually nothing except we were both senators.
I don't know much about Jim Eastland. I don't. I don't know much about Jim Eastland. But apparently, that was not good for him to mention. Here's what I wanted. What's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again? Read the polls, Jack.
Mr. President, what's your message to Democrats who don't want you to run again?
They want me to run.
2/3 say they
Read
don't.
the poll. Read the poll, Jack. You guys are all the same. That poll showed that 92% of Democrats, if I ran, would vote for me.
A majority of Democrats say they don't want you to run again in 2024.
92% said if I did, they'd vote for me.
92? Where was he seeing that? Where was he seeing that 92 number? Does anybody know? I have not seen a 92% number. And maybe he's referring to a poll that he saw like a long time ago. I don't know what he's talking about. This dude is wackadoo. Are they telling him that, by the way? Like maybe he's not confused. Maybe they're just telling him that 92% want him to run to keep his morale up. But there is no 92% number that I am aware of. And I'm reading the polls. I'm seeing them. It is clear that Democrats do not want Joe Biden anymore. They don't want Kamala Harris. They want a complete restart. Guaranteed, come 2024. First off, I don't think Biden will still be in office. I think that they're probably going to push for him to retire before that because this is becoming... he can't get in front of a camera without embarrassing himself, which thus embarrasses the entire Democrat Party, which makes them sink in the eyes of the public. I mean, it's almost kind of like cruel looking, to be honest with you. I kind of feel like they're taking advantage of a senile old man. You know? Hashtag save Joe Biden. But I mean, like, even in his more lucid moments, it seems like he's just, he I don't know. There's something wrong with him. But I'm looking at the polls and I'm seeing the complete opposite of what he's saying. I sincerely doubt that I mean, what Democrat looks at him and goes, "Oh, he's doing a great job." I haven't met one. Not in real life anyway. I mean, on Twitter, you're always going to find, if you insult Biden enough, don't worry, they'll find you. But I mean, like, I in real life, I have not met one Democrat that's like, "Oh, Joe Biden's doing a great job. Superb. I want him as my leader." Not one. Now, given I live in Texas, but still. I mean, if you guys know of one, let me know. How about that $16 decrease on July 4th barbecue a year ago? How'd that go this year? Thank God we don't have mean tweets. Thank God we don't have mean tweets anymore, guys. If we still had mean tweets, this would be a disaster, right? Of epic proportions, because, oh my God, we'd have pipelines, gas pipelines, with oil running through them probably. Much cheaper form of transportation, much more environmentally friendly, according to John freaking Kerry himself. We'd have a secure border. You know, law enforcement worth a damn. My God, it would be chaos. Countries would still respect us. Guaranteed, if Trump was still in office, there would be no war in Ukraine. And wouldn't that be a disaster for Democrats? Wouldn't that be a disaster? Is the new Covfefe. Did we ever find out what Covfefe meant? I don't think we ever did. Kofefe, it's like it's up to your interpretation, I guess. You know, what do you see when you look at the Rorschach tweet? Joe is like Michael Scott. He's even from Scranton. But at least Michael Scott was charming and did the right thing from time to time. The D after the name stands for delusional. Yep. Dude, 92% is result for young demographic. Oh, it's the result for the younger demographic? You mean the people who don't vote? Is that what it is? Good luck, dude. 92%. Here's the 18-year-olds, and I think it's 18 through 26 or something like that. They have the highest rate of support for the Democrat Party, but the lowest voting average. So 92% of young people who want to vote for Democrats means absolutely nothing. But here's the thing. I don't even think at this point, I would like to see that poll. 92% of young people, I even have trouble believing that at this point. 92% of people where? Of young people where? Portland? Universities? That was Dems with him against Trump, but only Dems. So that was, yeah. So then he's quoting a poll from a long time ago. What's up, Amtrue? I want to say that 92% is Dems who would vote for him versus Trump, which might be true, but okay. Then yeah, that's a poll that has been irrelevant for years now. Running to biking. So very specific scenario, unrelated to Dems wanting him to run again. I think we all can, no matter where it came from, it's wrong. It's wrong. And it's another embarrassing moment for himself and the Democrat Party in general. When a D speaks, you know the opposite is true. I think I saw that on Hot Air. Did you see Trump's truth on Elon? Hilarious, pretty hard on the guy. Dude, that's going to be... If you had told me that Elon and Trump would be fighting, I probably would have told you that I... Well, you know what? No, never mind. I take it back. Anything is possible nowadays. The question will be, how will it affect Trump going forward? Because Elon has a lot of fans on the right. A lot. And he's pushing for DeSantis, meaning that Elon is probably going to be a huge thorn in Trump's side if Trump decides to run in 2024. Huge. And on top of that, if Joe Rogan goes for DeSantis, which he has said that he is, Trump's going to be up against a lot in 2024 if that's the case. The D is a powerful thing. I wouldn't say Biden is Michael Scott. He's more Mayor Randall Winston. DeSantis know him in 2024. We'll see. If DeSantis does win, I'm going to be curious as to who he does pick. It's I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be Noam. I think I'd have to look further into it, but I'm not sure it's going to be Noam, to be honest with you. Latest Biden Liapalooza is something else, especially about Kamala. This is by Nick. Joe Biden traveled to South Carolina State University today to deliver remarks at their December commencement ceremonies. Biden was met by protesters, as he is almost everywhere he goes, even in Democrat-friendly environments. He was invited to speak by Rep. Jim Clyburn, who helped save his electoral viability by turning around Biden's fortunes in South Carolina during the primary campaign. Biden spoke about the right to vote, continuing to push the false claims. Oh, wait, we just watched that one. Why did I cite that one? This is what I wanted to talk about. Excuse me. Got a little confused there. This is the issue that they're facing right now, the 92%. There's no possible way that people are going to allow Joe Biden in the Democrat Party to run again. No possible way. I don't think that he's capable of it physically, for one. but he has lost so much support in the Democrat Party. They are currently, as it stands, leaderless. They're absolutely leaderless. With an email list of 1.2 million current supporters in the U.S., we are committed to nationwide organizing to prevent Biden from running in being the 2024 nominee. Hashtag don't run, Joe. This is the first time that a large national organization has announced such plans. Join us. This is from Roots Action. I'm willing to bet. I'm almost kind of tempted to, you know what, hang on. Give me 2 seconds. I want to see how much. Let's go to Twitter. I'm going to pull it up on I'm going to pull it up off screen real fast because I don't trust Twitter lately. Wow. Okay. Listen to the kids, Joe. This is from Mike. Young people really don't want Joe Biden to run in 2024. Pro Bernie Sanders group launches campaign urging Biden not to run for re-election. Wait, is this the return of Sanders? Is this the return of Sanders? Will have a fight on his hands if he runs again. Are they going to support Bernie Sanders, or are they just for Bernie Sanders? They like Bernie Sanders. This is progressive group. Yeah. It sounds to me like this is the radical part of the Democrat Party now openly working against the establishment part. And I talked about this during the Civil War stream. Left-wing group that worked in 2020 to persuade progressives to support President Joe Biden is now preparing to turn on him. Organizers told Politico with plans to launch a public pressure campaign to block his renomination in 2024. The effort by rootsaction.org is the latest sign of unrest among Democrats about Biden, whose job approval rating has cratered during a punishing midterm election year. Roots Action, with an email list of about 1.2 million people in the United States, said it plans to spend 6 figures on a Don't Run Joe campaign. Damn, 6 figures, with digital ads starting in early nominating states on November 9th, one day after the midterm elections. This is the Civil War. I told you guys it was going to kick up. Here it is. Though prominent Democrats have said they will support Biden if he seeks re-election, as Biden said he plans to do, rank-and-file Democrats appear far less unified, rolling the party halfway through the midterm year. According to a New York Siena College poll released on Monday, nearly 2/3 of Democrat voters say they want someone else to be the party's nominee in 2020. Read the polls, Jack. Read the polls, Jack. Unfortunately, President Biden has been neither bold nor inspiring, Roots Action said in a prepared statement shared first with Politico, and his prospects for winning re-election appear to be bleak. With so much at stake, making him the Democrat Party standard bearer in 2024 would be a tragic mistake. Y'all, this is gonna get bad. Wow. Look at all these people. I know a lot of these people aren't like... Look at this. Don't run Joe. Don't run Joe. All of this is the Don't Run Joe hashtag. Oh, damn. Damn. Yeah. See, it's over for Democrats, y'all. They're not going to win midterms. There's no possible way. Unless it is in the bluest of the blue states, bluest of the blue cities, I do not see Democrat politicians coming out on top, period. And going into 2024 at this moment in time, I don't see how this gets better. They are absolutely leaderless. They do not like their own leader. They're now putting up big time campaigns to try to make sure that he doesn't get elected, or like that he's not up for re-elected. It's the Democrat Party fighting against the Democrat Party. And it looks to me like it's the progressive wing of the I say progressive. The hard left part of the Democrat Party going against the establishment part. I told you guys the Civil War was happening, man. Here it is, baby. Gosh. But if they try to put up Bernie Sanders though against the Joe Biden, or they try to say, hey, sub in Bernie Sanders for Joe Biden, the Democrat establishment is never going to let that happen. They have twice actively worked against Bernie Sanders becoming the Democrat nominee for president. Twice. There's no, they would fight tooth and nail. They would, the radical part of the Democrat Party would have to destroy the establishment part of the Democrat Party in order to make Bernie Sanders a viable contender. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I had a Biden moment. I did have a Biden moment. I'll take that L. I'll take the L. I fooled myself. I hope President House plan is outed soon, though. I mean, at this moment in time, I'm pretty sure that his days as the president are numbered, and they are going to push him out because they're not going to want to miss the opportunity to say they put the first woman of color in the White House as president. They're not going to pass that up. But then, come 2024, I don't see how they have Kamala stick around. They're going to do something that convinces Kamala to step away. DeSantis Boebert, just for the lulz, dude, meltdowns would be had within the press. You thought Trump was bad? A DeSantis Boebert ticket would be bedlam. Imagine Carrie Lake serving as VP and press secretary. So you want to replace one rich old white man with another rich old white man. The Democrat Party. So they want to replace Elvis, return to Sandus. Thank you very much. Whippy, another old rich white guy. Run, Bernie, run. Dude, I actually love it. The drama with Bernie Sanders. I actually, in 2020, in the 2020 election, I wanted Bernie Sanders to get the primary nod. And for a hot minute, I thought he was going to. Because Bernie Sanders versus Trump would have been the most entertaining thing I have ever seen in my entire life. I was bored by the Trump-Biden election. I really was. But the Sanders, God, can you imagine the Democrat Party if Sanders was, oh my God, it would have been so funny. Somehow the new Secretary of State in Colorado came from a 35 deficit to win the position, sits on Zuckerberg board. Interesting times. And a third-party candidate won 28% of the vote somehow. Weird stuff, huh? What's up, Lord Jin? Everyone is young people compared to Biden et al. The thing about the Democrat Party is they rely so much on the youth, but not to vote. And this is a very interesting dynamic that the Democrat Party has with the youth of America. They know for a fact that the youth aren't going to pull any levers, right? But they don't need them to. What they need them to do is work for them in order to get their message and their influence out. You know, many people, especially influencers online, are like Democrat by default. You know, they have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to the economy. They have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to foreign policy. Nothing. Like most of them are just completely and utterly ignorant, but it doesn't matter because they're Democrat. And if you want to be cool like this influencer or like the rest of your young buddies, then you'll be Democrat too. So typically when you're young, you know, you're willing to, you know, rah it up for whatever Democrat is running for office, and, you know, you're going to talk them up, you're going to denounce Republicans as evil, so on and so forth. But when it comes time to pull the lever, most youth stay home. They don't really do anything. So it's funny, they invest so much time and effort into convincing the youth that being a Democrat is cool because the youth is going to be more effective at convincing other people, including people older than them, that the Democrats are cool and that they need to be voted for. You know, very strange relationship, but it is how it is. It's been that way for a long time. Run, Forrest, run. Gen Xer here, Civil War, no worries, we will fix it. I think youth of candidates will be an issue in 2024. Trump is too old. DeSantis 2024. Trump for Secretary of State. I think a lot of people are actually going to be turned off by Trump because of that very thing. You're going to see a lot of people who just are scared that Trump is going to start losing his faculties as he starts to age. And being president is not a picnic. It is a stressful, stressful thing. And I can guarantee you Democrats, the press, everyone is going to make it as stressful as humanly possible for Trump. And when you're under that much stress constantly, you know, it does affect your health. And people are going to look at Trump and be like, I don't know if he's going to be able to carry this out. I think that that's going to be a worry on a lot of people's minds. And so that's going to make them turn toward DeSantis. If I had to place my money on who is probably going to win the Republican primary for 2024, I would probably put my money on DeSantis, just given the fact that, you know, you have Elon Musk, you've got Joe Rogan, you've got, you know, like cool. I don't want to say like mainstream Republicans, but like people who once were Democrats, who have now become Republican, who have a lot of influence. They are turning toward DeSantis. I think a lot of people are probably also going to be burnt out on the fact that Trump, you know, was probably the most hated person on the planet, and the Democrats are going to do everything in their power to once again turn it into an anti-Trump show. Like their patience for it has run out, so they're like, I don't want to deal with another 4 years of this. I'm not saying that Trump isn't going to do well if he does run. I think he's going to do very well. I think it's probably going to be a close race between him and DeSantis, but I just see DeSantis pulling it out, given he's got far more support. He's got political momentum. But we'll see, man. I mean, politics is a surprising thing. You know, I could be completely wrong by the time this is all said and done and the dust settles. Trump might still be standing up. The last man standing. We'll see. We'll see. But guaranteed, Trump will be up against DeSantis. DeSantis, he is on his last term as governor in Florida. And if he is going to, I mean, that iron is as hot as it's ever going to be for him. He's going to have to strike it. And the one thing that he does not have that Trump does have is is that kind of longevity when it comes to his popularity. But the only reason that Trump has that longevity is not just because he was a good president. It's also because the Democrats cannot stop talking about him. It's like they're obsessed with it. They cannot let him go. Everything that they say and do is about Trump right now. Almost everything, I should say. And the fact that they keep Trump living rent-free in their own heads is giving him all the publicity he could ever ask for. Continuous publicity. People can't forget about him because Democrats can't forget about him. They can't get over him. He's like Gamergate, you know? Gamergate was like one of the times, like one of the few times that Democrats of the left had a major loss. And they have never been able to get over it. Ever. They still bring it up to this day, Gamergate. Various articles, like it won't have anything to do with gaming. It won't have anything to do with Gamergate, but they'll still find a way to mention Gamergate. Like it lives rent-free in their heads. Trump is the exact same way. So he's got more longevity outside of politics than any candidate I've ever seen in my entire life. And that's one of his saving graces. So we'll see. We'll see. It might be enough. What's up, Ricochet? Why does Red State promote DeSantis' narrative over the MAGA movement? It's not, bro. I feel like we've had this conversation before. It's not that we're promoting one over the other. Now, given, you know, we have our preferences, sure. But if you look forward, you've got to weigh and talk about what might happen, what could happen, what, the factors going into these elections. And I mean, like, it does not pay to be super loyal at this point to any candidate. It doesn't. We're so far out from it. Sweet Lord. Speaker would work for me, Lord Jim. Speaker of the House. Trump is Speaker of the House. Bro. that would be the best Congress I've ever seen. I'd be tuning into C-SPAN every day. I still think Trump is the best candidate. Yeah, I mean, look, some people, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, there are going to be a lot of people out there. I mean, Trump did win that poll on CPAC, or at CPAC, So Trump has a very loyal base. And I think that, again, like I said, my prediction is that the DeSantis and Trump race is going to be very close in 2024 if Trump chooses to run. I think it's going to be super close. My only hope is that going forward during the primaries, we don't screw each other by, becoming so angry and hateful at one another because, one candidate lost over another. The DeSantis camp doesn't become so hateful of Trump that they refuse to vote for him if he wins and vice versa. Because honestly, that's probably one of the best ways. The Democrats are too weak to defeat us Republicans in 2024. They're too weak, right? But Republicans have a history of fighting against themselves. And it weakens Republicans going into elections hardcore. We'll see, man. We'll see. Redstate.com is a joke. Well, thanks for showing up and talking with us, bud. Thanks for viewing us, for reading us. Good job, dude. Trump will fire a lot of people if reelected. I want that to happen. Needs to happen. Dude, no joke. If I was Trump, I would walk in and just start, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. I would put it on camera. I'd give him a letter. You're fired. You've got this channel name wrong. Just stop this. We're all trying to reach what's best for the nation. We're all on the same team at the end of the day. All right? At the end of the day, this is all of us trying to make this nation a better place. We all have an idea of who might be able to do that best. And you know what? We can disagree without resorting to calling each other losers. This is what I'm talking about, by the way. I want to make this very clear. Ricochet is exemplifying what I'm talking about. Because you're not voting for my guy, I'm mad. You're a loser. Dude, take a hike, man. Take a freaking hike. It's that mentality that helps Republicans lose elections. It really is. You are a detriment to the... I'm speaking to you, Ricochet, and people like you. You are a detriment to the Republican Party. We've got a hater in the chat. You know what? I like haters, though. I like them present. Gamergate and Trump is a good comparison. Yeah. Because you'll remember that Trump was, they blamed Trump on Gamergate. I don't know if y'all remember that. Like back when he first got elected, or no, it was during his rise to popularity during the primary. They blamed Gamergate for his popularity. And it was because Milo Yiannopoulos at the time was super into Trump. So they naturally wanted to take that, and make him the same. You want a constitutional president? Lou. Same. I'm too weak. Then Trump gets the primary nod. Unlimited power. You all said that in 2020. True, Lou. With DeSantis as VP would work for me. Some people are bringing that up too, and I actually don't think it's a bad tactic. Because if you think about it, let's say Trump does win. he makes DeSantis his VP. If anything happens to Trump, who is, I no doubt, going to be a really good president, right? If anything happens to Trump, you get DeSantis. Win-win. Your Trump impersonation is spot on. 2024 is 86 plus 4 years is 90. He'd be an old guy. He will be an old guy, and I do think that will be a factor. Trump has learned who is in Washington. Yeah, who is who in Washington now. That's very valuable information. Very valuable information. Opinion is good if we keep them clean. Yeah. We don't need to go at each other's throats and insult each other. It boggles my mind. Like the intensity, the emotion that people get through. And the same thing happened with Trump, I noticed. I mean, one of the big complaints that I have about the Republican Party, to the point where I was ready to go myself, was because somehow Trump's election broke people mentally. And there are people that I respected, like hardcore respected in the Republican Party, that lost their minds and they just became staunch Democrats while still maintaining the air that I'm a Republican. Like, no, you're not. But I mean, it just goes to show you, whenever some people don't get their way, they just turn away, Romney and Obama were the same thing. And I mean, I can understand why people don't like Romney. Believe me, even back then I understood it. I wasn't a huge fan of Romney, but I would much rather have had Romney than Obama. And to this day, I mean, I kind of agree with, there were some writer, I forget who it was who wrote this, but I was like, this is so true. Romney didn't lose to Obama. Romney lost to the Republican Party. Now, given he didn't help himself, and he's definitely not helping himself now, but back then, it's kind of amazing. '78 in 2024, not 86. Yeah. It's a good position for president. We are in a win-win position. If all else fails, Carrie Lake for president. No, even Trump has admitted to being 82 on his birthday. Dominion 2024. Look. Let's put this to bed. Y'all, here. Trump's age. 76. The man is 76. There it is. Trump DeSantis would put this country back under the Constitution for 12 years. Republicans didn't come out to vote for Romney. Yeah. Trolls are fun. You gotta love trolls, though. They're useful. Can we talk about this real fast? Because this was insane. Here's another reason why Democrats are done. You know what? No, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save my commentary. I'm going to let her talk.
With dignity and humanity.
And
that means being able
your way
to...
of thinking.
Before I start this is a university professor who is currently talking to Josh Hawley. If you haven't seen this already, this is a university professor. Okay? She is at a hearing talking to Josh Hawley.
That happens when more black babies are aborted.
I trust.
Oh, hang on. Not that one first. This one first. This one first, and then I'm going to get to the other one.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to all of the witnesses for being here. Before I want to visit with you, Ms. Maskey, but before I do, I just want to clear one thing up. Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive.
Real fast, her attitude already is driving me crazy in this clip. she's chuckling like he's an idiot while she is in the middle of talking about something fantastical. She's chuckling because he's an ignorant white man while she attempts to say that men can give birth and be pregnant. This is a university professor laughing at a dude who is asking common sense questions while she is stating pure fantasy. It's pure fantasy. Men cannot be pregnant. They can't. And trans men are women. They're women. Trans women are men. Period. There's no way around it. Biology's biology, baby.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic.
Okay, I actually stopped it too early. I'm sorry for being a pause, Andy. But that moment, my jaw absolutely dropped. I want you to watch her face when she says it. Look at her, even right here. Her face is just incredible. She's looking at him like he is an idiot, an evil idiot.
The core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning?
Because,
so we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also treated like this, where
No,
they're told that they're opening up people to violence?
We have a good time in my class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot just in this exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Unbelievable. Okay, first off, I want to address this. Outside of what I just said, you'll notice that she is attempting to make it sound like even talking in a fashion about reality and biology. She is trying to tell you that merely talking about it that way is opening up people to violence. You cannot even speak about it. You can't. You can't speak about it. You can't talk biology. You can't talk facts because doing so opens up people for violence. This is one of the examples, and I want to remind everybody, by the way, this is a university professor who is teaching your youth. This is another example of how the left does not really want to address basic issues. Cannot get realistic about basic issues. Because if they do, it destroys their worldview. Josh Hawley can't even ask a simple question without him being shut down and made to seem like he is a person who is inviting violence upon a group of people who actually aren't. Trans people do exist, don't get me wrong. The transgender thing is there. But there's no reality to the transgender movement. Even the people who are suffering from a very real disease, which is gender dysphoria because it's not real. The thought in their mind is not real. And by the way, Josh Hawley is not transphobic. Again, I've covered this before. Phobia, using the term phobia, is a sensationalist term meant to make the person being accused of being transphobic to be an unthinking, fearful, violent idiot. A phobia, a real phobia, activates your fight or flight. It makes you, it causes your adrenaline to spike. It takes you out of your right rational mind and puts you in a state of effectively panic. He asked her a simple question and she dodged it, but it's not the first time she dodged it by trying to make him or make somebody else seem like they're the idiot, right? This one as well that I was playing for you earlier. Another great example.
Lead lives that are filled with dignity and humanity.
And
that
to
means
your,
being
to
able
your way
to,
of thinking, that happens when more black babies are aborted.
I believe, I trust, I love black people with the capacity for pregnancy. I think they have agency, they have intelligence, they know what is best for themselves, and I would love to create the conditions under which they can live lives that are filled with dignity and humanity.
And do you think
I agree with that. So why does the Democrat Party continue to try to put them under their thumb, whether it be with entitlement programs or just societal pressure? If you're not voting for me, you ain't black. Remember that? Do y'all remember that study that came out that showed that whenever it comes to talking to black people, conservatives talk to black people like they're absolutely normal, like they're equals, but Democrats tend to talk down to them like they're idiots? Y'all remember that? Democrats do not view the black community as equal. I would much rather than be viewed as equal. I'd much rather than be treated as equals, which means that they don't get special treatment for being black, whether it is a government program or it is a societal norm. Because I believe that the black community is fully capable, very intelligent. Given the opportunity, which they aren't, because the government stops them continuously in many occasions. Given the opportunity, they'll be just as wealthy and productive as everybody else. The Democrats continuously keep them down. And another way they try to keep them down is by continuously killing off black babies. It's not an accident that many Planned Parenthood clinics are located in minority communities. It's not an accident.
do you think a baby that is delivered alive has value?
Yes.
Do you think that a baby that is not yet born has value?
I believe that a person with a capacity for pregnancy has value. They have intelligence. They have agency. They have
I'm talking about the baby.
And I'm talking about the person with the capacity for pregnancy.
You're not
Dodge,
answering the
dodge,
question.
dodge.
I'm answering a more
Dodge.
interesting question to me.
Dodge.
You think that a baby that is not yet born, let's say the day before this mother delivers, do you think that baby has value?
I think that the person with the capacity for pregnancy has value, and they should have the ability to control what happens to their lives.
Well, and I just note you refused to answer the question. Ms. Harrell.
They can't answer it. They dodge. They have to try their absolute damnedest to bring the conversation to a place where they don't have to engage in reality, or they don't have to face up to their own very easily disprovable nonsense. They can't take a look at their own hypocrisy. They do everything in their power to try to get themselves into a position almost like political jujitsu, where they can start attacking you and put you in a position where you simply asking a question can come off as evil or heartless or not with the times. This right here, this woman right here is a perfect example, a poster child of how the Democrat Party, especially around the youthful area, thinks right now. Who wants to vote for this? Who wants to support this? By the way, I gotta say, take your kid out of school, man. Don't let him go to university. Don't let your kid go to university. If you have the power to take your kid out of public school, do it. These people infect this our education system far and wide. And this is, by the way, another reason that I think universities should be defunded. If they're so great, then let the people who want them funded fund them. Right? The celebrities, the rich Ivy League Americans who make donos all the time, let them fund it. Why do we have to fund it with our taxpayer dollars so that our kid could go off and learn from this wackadoo who can't answer a simple question and thinks you're transphobic because you believe that a man is a man and a woman is a woman and that only women can be pregnant and give birth? That you're some sort of evil psychopath who's not in his right mind because you obey basic biology. She's teaching your kids. As of yet, no one can change their DNA. Nope. I remember that Biden did say that why they are having a hard time with the Hispanic population, all the Spanish language has female and male accents. They do. But they, for a time, were also treating, that's a very good point. For a time, they were also treating the Hispanic community like they were lesser. And there was this author who I can remember, and it was actually very recent that I wrote about it. I brought it back up because of Eric July. Eric July, for those of you who don't know, he's a YouTuber who's going to start his own comic book company, and he raised $1 million in a little over a day, proving to you that people are thirsty for some good escapism. But he is bringing on a comic book artist who used to work for DC. That guy quit DC, and he's of North African and Libyan descent, this artist. He quit DC because he was sick and tired of the leftist mentality that had infected the area. But one of the kickers, one of the things that really caused him to want to leave is when the Trump election came around, they started talking to him like he was a victim that needed to be protected. Like Trump was going to somehow round up people like him and I don't know, put them on against the wall and execute them or deport them. I don't know. It was that level of insanity, though. And he's like, I can't take this anymore. You people are idiots. I'm leaving. And now he works for Eric July, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you their mentality. Like they live in this fantasy world. And you cannot pop that bubble. If you even try, they lash out at you or they try to dodge questions as much as humanly possible. That's the prevailing mentality of the Democrat Party at the moment. I'm not talking about, I want to make this very clear. Not all Democrat voters are like this. In fact, many Democrat voters have left the Democrat Party and are planning to vote Republican because of this nonsense. You know, being a Democrat doesn't automatically make you an idiot, but I will say that this is the prevailing mentality. It is the one that is currently winning. And it is going to war with the people who would rather not engage in this nonsense on the Democrat side. That civil war, it's here, baby. I actually haven't seen this one, so this will be a live react from me.
Senator Lee, Senator Cruz have talked about, this decision just to turn, Dobbs decision just returned to the elected representatives of states and people can battle it out in these laboratories of democracy as to whether they want to protect fetal life over the interests of the pregnant person. These are the same states that are stopping people from voting. Texas has the most restrictive voting laws on the books. Texas's SB 8 doesn't represent the will of the majority of Texans. Texas SB 8 represents the will of the majority of Texans that were able to vote. So in order for this to be a democracy, we have to protect voting rights. And I leave it to everyone in this room, as well as the rest of Congress, to protect voting rights so that we can be a real democracy.
Hi, Texan here. No, that's not the case at all, actually. We just toughened being able to vote by making you prove that you're a Texas resident. That's all we did. And it's not hard to get proof that you're a Texas resident. It's not. This woman is once again straight up lying to try to make her fantasy world where we're stopping people. Us evil white Texans are stopping, and I know what she's trying to say because I've watched Texas Democrats make this argument before. We're trying to stop minorities from voting. The poor, we're trying to stop the poor from voting. That's not the case. And this is once again Democrats talking down to people of color, to minority groups. They're too stupid to know how, I guess, or too stupid to know how to get a license. This woman, this is the Democrat Party. This woman is the Democrat Party right now. The prevailing mentality within the Democrat Party. That is sad, man. That is absolutely sad. Who wants to vote for this? Seriously. I mean, who thinks that this is a good idea? This is insanity. This is the denial of actual reality. And people wonder, people on the left wonder why the Democrat Party is losing so much steam. They wonder why over 1 million people have registered as Republican who were formerly Democrat. They wonder why these Democrats are fleeing blue states in order to go to red states to live more prosperous, happy, and free lives. They wonder why, there's such a backlash happening right now in the public school system where you have parents, including one woman who works at Kira Davis, is running for school board in California right now. Why these parents are trying to come in and take over to save their children from this lunacy that you just saw right there. The Democrat Party has reached its brick wall. It is slamming into it at 1,000 miles an hour. There is no possible way that in 2020 or 2024 it is able to pull out of this dive. The only thing that can save them right now is Republican infighting, in my honest opinion. If the Republicans can snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat, or defeat out of the jaws of victory, I should say. I other than that, I don't see Democrats even surviving as a party at this point. So many people are going to flee it. And it's just going to be the Republican Party and independents, I'm pretty sure, are going to make a huge resurgence here in 2022, in the midterms. I'm pretty sure in 2024 you're going to see it too. Because don't get me wrong, there's going to be a lot of Democrats who absolutely refuse to vote Republican. But they're definitely not going to vote for whatever Democrats throw up. And what's their primary opponent, or their primary choice for president right now? Gavin Newsom. The guy who destroyed California and continues to help push more laws that make it harder to live there, versus Trump or DeSantis? Are you kidding me? They're screwed. They're done. For at least, I probably the next, I would give it 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. I would give it 12 years. It's going to be Republican, at least in the White House, Republicans ruling the roost. That's how bad that they've screwed up and how bad their culture on the left has gotten. They have to, and it'll be a long process, but they have to lose the fight against more moderate Democrats. I think you're going to see Democrats over the course of those 12 years drift more and more toward the center as these radicals lose power. At least if Democrats have any fight left them at this point in time. I just don't know. How do they recover? Do y'all see a door? Am I missing something? Can somebody maybe fill me in? It's not a democracy, it's a republic. Yep, constitutional republic, you are correct. I doubt she has actually ever been to Texas. I think she's an Ivy League University professor. We're a republic, as I'm sure you all know. Yeah. She's a Berkeley professor. She's used to making wild claims without needing any evidence for truth. She says that her students have like a really great environment. I sincerely doubt that. I'm 100% convinced that she shames, intimidates, and fails students that don't agree with her. I'm pretty sure. I'm all for get along to get along, live and let live, but they are nuts. Nothing to compromise with impossible. Well, yeah, Amtruth, they don't want compromise. Anyway, like even if you were to try to find some middle ground with them, they would not have it. They don't want it. Their whole entire, the radical left, I mean, dating all the way back to communism, you know, they're not here to negotiate. They're here to conquer. They're conquerors. You know, they want you smashed under their boot. They're out here creating Ministry of Truth departments in our own government right now. Like they're not here to go along to get along. You know, they're here to make sure that you obey. That's their end goal, period. No one person has control over the Democrat Party, unlike Trump, who have control of the Republican Party. Yeah, they're leaderless. The Democrats are leaderless. You know? And Gavin Newsom just is no leader of the Democrat Party. I know that they're trying to, you know, put him forward since, you know, Andrew Cuomo kind of had to step down. I think he was actually their first choice. But now Cuomo's gone. So Gavin Newsom is all that's left. He's plan B. Or C. I don't know, man. Kamala Harris, I think, was probably actually plan B, but now she fell through, so now they've got plan C, Gavin Newsom. Dominion will snatch. Man, I hope you're wrong. Trump doesn't really have control of the party. Only reason he does have the power he does is because of the people. Yeah. Leadership in the Republican Party doesn't like Trump either. You wouldn't know this if you were paying attention. Yeah. Trump has made a lot of enemies both inside and outside the party. That can't be denied. You know, but I mean, to his credit, you got to be a strong leader in order to fight that kind of battle. So I'll give him that. A battle both of the exterior and the interior. I mean, he's that can't be denied that he was strong. Dominion did it in Colorado for Secretary of State. You know what, guys? I haven't watched. You know what I haven't watched yet? That reminds me. 2,000 Mules. I need to see it. I need to see 2,000 Mules. I feel bad that I haven't watched it yet. Each party chooses a person to represent their leadership too. Even Trump has detractors in his own party. I think every leader is going to have detractors too. You know, like it's just. Sometimes, I mean, Abbott, you know, a really great example here is in Texas. Just Abbott had a lot of Republicans who didn't like him, and they actively worked very hard to campaign against him. You know, he still won, and I saw many of those same Republicans turn around and just be like, all right, it's you. You're the guy. I'll support you, but I'm still going to get mad when you screw up, and I'm going to say so. And I think that that's actually healthy for anybody to do. No matter how much you like a politician, call them out whenever they do wrong. How else are they going to learn? It can't just be like all applause all the time. People are human. They make mistakes. Let them know. Republicans in Nebraska at their convention cleaned out all the rhinos, get rid of tenant. Good. Why are you here if you vote Democrat, Shadow? Everybody's welcome here. Even Democrats. I actually like Democrats being in the chat, to be honest with you. I like to talk to them. What's up, Half-Baked? I'm trying to find where Shadow is. I don't know where he is. I can't see him in the chat. Red State, How to Air, Twitchy, Town Hall are all great to leave. Yeah. The entire family. The entire... Yeah, plus PJ Media. Yeah. The entire Salem family. While likely that's not entirely fair, we weren't in the ballot box with them. We don't know what the shadow gave us, bud. That shadow gave us Biden. I am... There are things that I can't prove. I don't have the information on me. And so, especially in my position, it's hard to push one thing or another. Or agree with it. But I can't, and YouTube won't allow me to say much, but strange things are afoot. You shout, didn't like the reading recommendations. Didn't like the reading recommendations. What? Try them out anyway. You might learn a thing or two. You might learn a thing or two. Guys, that'll be doing it for me today. Thank you all so much for joining me. Once again, go to redstate.com. Shadow. Because we got all sorts of great stuff there. Read it. Read it. Expand your horizons. Just read some of the stuff and try to take it into consideration. To the Democrats in my chat, that's all I can say to you. Don't believe everything that you read from mainstream sources. You got to spread it out. I even read mainstream sources still, despite the fact that I don't trust them. Every now and again, you'll get good kernels of thought or truth or something to think about. Just expand your horizons. Stop believing just one side all the time. People are human and humans are fallible. And just remember that the media is not your friend. It is a business. It is there to make money. So they're going to serve up to you whatever they think is going to make you pay attention the most. That's just the God's honest truth. And that's coming from a journalist. Even if you are trying your best to be absolutely factual at all times, you're going to make mistakes. Again, you're human. So please, go read redstate.com. Sign up for the VIP program if you can. Use promo code Morse, M-O-R-S-E, on sign up for a discount. Follow me at the Brandon Morse on Twitter. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'll see you guys Friday either way. I'll see you guys Friday. If you have any suggestions for me, let me know. My DMs are open. Would love to hear from y'all. Love to chat with whatever's on your mind. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week. Kill it. Go forth. I know it's a struggle right now, but again, we're winning. We're winning. And we're going to win in the long run. 100%, guys. All right. Take it easy.